Welcome to the late night chat, and all of you. Thank you for your well wishes for my dental surgery. I recovered. The first day was a bit on the painful side, but it's low grade pain now. I'm hoping it's going to subside here. Anyway, so let's see if we can get somebody. Peter, would you be able to read the email?
Yes, sir. If you could just wait for me to get my magnifying glass just in case.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can, is
Yeah.
there any way to pinch out? Thank you, Jay Gigabon. Okay, dear folks of Baba, Baba has said that creation is all an illusion, a zero, a complete nothing, a statement which I think was initially a shock to most of us. And we were faced with an overwhelming dilemma. What do we do with the love he has placed in our hearts if everything is an illusion? Early on, during my first couple of weeks of coming to Baba back in my college days, I woke up one morning and saw that all of life was an illusion. It was horrible, bleak, and meaningless, for I had no place to express the love that was in my heart. How could I invest in something that was total fake? Jeff, let me just double check. Am I the Peter that you wanted to read?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
just
think
double
there's another
checking.
Peter around. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see another one. Didn't see. All right, Baba, help me out. All right. I wandered around for 3 days with the most dreary and empty prospect before me. Thankfully, on the third morning, Baba conveyed this to me. Even though all life is an illusion, it is always worthy of your most loving attention. That bridged for me what seemed to be two impossible realms, the world of love and the realm of illusion. Didn't Baba himself make his most loving attention to everything in this, his illusory world? Okay, can you pinch up a little bit? My zoom won't go down. A little bit more. Oh, I gotta catch up. Right, for us, love is first mirrored imperfectly in the world of illusion before it is mirrored perfectly in Baba. He has said, I am the divine beloved, worthy of being loved because I am love. He who loves me because of this will be blessed with unlimited sight and will see me as I am. I remember discussing this subject one day with Darwin Shaw. It was his conviction that love, the love in us right now, was in fact here before creation, and that we are always free to express love if we would only rise above our attachment to the opposites, especially our likes and dislikes. As Baba has said, creation is a predestined drama for each of us, from the most gaseous state to our final realization of God. In our discussions, Darwin and I liken creation to a black and white film, and through love, we can add a magnificent array of colors to it. In every moment, we are free to express the love that Baba gives us through his grace. That is, we are not passive victims of a predestined drama. We can add rich and beautiful colors to each moment. With our love, we have a glorious part to play in his creation. We have the potential to love unconditionally. It is our birthright. Thank you. Besides your love for beloved Baba, where do you find the most attractive and compelling place to pour your love into? Where does your love most naturally and wholeheartedly flow? Baba has said, I can say with divine authority that I experience eternally and consciously and continually being one with you all, and one in you, and continuously being one with you all, and one in you all. Any worship or
Obeisance.
obeisance done to any deity, animate or inanimate, to any saint, guru, yogi, or advanced souls eventually comes to me. By offering pure, unadulterated love to anyone and anything, you will be loving me. If we rise above our likes and dislikes, the floodgates of our pure hearts can always be open to everyone and everything. Creation is a vast field we can pour our hearts into if we wish. What unexpected fields of love have opened up for you over the years with Baba? What are some of your passions that Baba has awakened in you? Do you sometimes experience a dilemma between loving Baba and loving others? How have you dealt with that? What difficulties do you experience in expressing love to others, especially when they resist what you have to give? Do you find that there are circumstances where it's better to radiate love silently rather than expressing it outwardly? And sorry for the laughter. Thank you. To penetrate into the essence of all being and significance, and to release the fragrance of that inner attachment and the inner attainment for the guidance and benefit of others by expressing in the world of forms truth, love, purity, and beauty. This is the role game.
The
This is the
soul.
sole game which has any intrinsic and absolute worth. All other happenings, incidences, and attainments can, in themselves, have no lasting importance. Meher Baba, in his love, Jeff. P.S. Thank you for all your well wishes for my dental surgery. After the first day, the recovery has been relatively pain-free. All right.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah.
Baba Nigaben.
Yeah. Anyone feel like anything
Thank you for
about
the
that?
invite.
What's that?
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Uh, anyone have any questions on the email? Did that make sense? I got a little help, from my
Jeff, I have
friends.
a question.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a question. Could you like start it out with like a statement, like one statement or example that we could start with? I hear some background noise. Does anybody else hear it?
It actually comes
Yes.
from Jeff's, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because you're
Really?
the only one that was muted while he was reading.
Wasn't muted.
You're
Uh-oh.
the only one not. Like there, it sounds like we have a party line,
Wow. Um,
but now I don't hear it.
I don't hear it now.
Now I hear it.
uh-oh. I
I
better
don't
not
have
touch. What if I got rid of the original sound?
Oh,
Let
that's
me
probably it.
see if that works. Now, does that any better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Mine
Okay.
is fine. Mine is fine.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Um, so Marta, ask that question again.
I was wondering if you'd be willing to make a statement just to focus, like one example, maybe that, or one example of what you're looking for, or what, I mean, not what you're looking for, but what you're inviting us to look at, maybe from the newsletter, from the
Well,
letter. I don't know.
basically, what's said there is that we are really free to love, but our likes and dislikes, we're in a way, I like laughingly say we're a little like petty despots. We say, "Oh, I like that person. I don't like that person so much. Oh, I really like that person. We kind of dole out our love just based on our likes and dislikes. And and one of the things that Darwin said is whoever you don't flow out to, you diminish yourself by that much. You make yourself smaller. If, for example, you have a negative attitude toward the opposite gender, there's like half of humanity that you're not flowing out to. And your life, you're only operating on 4 cylinders instead of 8. So uh, that flow, well, maybe here I'll mention one thing. This is kind of more the dynamics of this thing that I gathered from Darwin Shaw and Harry Kenmore, uh, back around 1970. That became a practice for my lifetime, for the last 50 years, is that Darwin would say there's a invisible current in everyone at the heart level. And the invisible current for most people is going toward I, me, and mine. That has to be reversed. We have to flow out to life and flow into Baba, which we can do. And what Darwin kind of got us to be aware of, you can focus at the heart level, even right now. Am I flowing? Am I stalled? Am I receding? There's a current that you can, if you get attuned to it, you can tell. For example, I mean, most Baba people, I don't find they recede, but there are people in the world who recede. They recoil, but we're out there trying to flow. And I'm trying to think, um, like say I could be on the screen here and I could be in a flowing state, and suddenly someone comes on the screen that I've had a very painful history with in the past. Suddenly, I might experience that current of stopping, but then Darwin say that's where the work begins. You have to get that flow going toward that person, through that person. And in the time I spent around Dr. Kenmore, he was flowing all the way out to the corners of the universe. I mean, he was, even if he disliked somebody or got upset with somebody, he just flowed right through them. And that's our birthright. We can do that. I mean, I used to, I've said this before. Darwin said, um, I said to him, what is the biggest mistake the Baba lovers are making? And he said, they think of themselves as small and they remain small. Think big. Think even outside the traditional spiritual box. Even Baba said to be big in capital letters. So this is kind of taking that your internal thing. But I mean, Darwin was very proactive about doing this rather than just letting letting your mood kind of dominate your day. You get in there proactively and get things moving. Now, the moving doesn't mean necessarily that you focus on Baba, but you can read, Rumi maybe to get you going, or playing with your grandchildren, anything that gets that flow going. And it's unique to everyone. But like I say, it's been my practice all these years. I mean, because I do stall out, and then I have to get proactive and get this get the motor going and flowing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's me. I've been asked to be co-host. So Christina,
Yeah.
Hey, Baba. Jeff, I'm curious, when you saw Harry Kenmore flowing out to all ends of the universe, when he had a confrontation with someone, how would you describe that he just flowed through that confrontation? Because this is one of the things I need to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he used to lay into me every once in a while, but I think I mentioned here on the late night chat, I used to be back in those days, I was like agonizing with what I was going to do with my life and everything. I was just getting an odd job here and there. And he was always on my case. When you going to get a career? You know, and he would lay into me. I mean, one time he said, I had a buddy of me meeting him for the first time, and he asked, "What have you been doing?" And I gave him one of these jobs, these odd jobs. He said, "The trouble with you, Jeff, is you're just a mad dog roaming the face of the earth." You know, he would say it like an Old Testament prophet or something, but it would eliminate my worry about what I was going to do with my life for about a month. It would clear, it would, and I mean, I come out of there laughing like, wow, I'm not worried about this anymore. So he was an unusual. I mean, Baba said he'll be a perfect master in his next life. I mean, this guy is teetering on the dizzy heights. But I mean, Darwin was real. I mean, we can radiate love, and if we can give up our likes and dislikes, and not to have our love conditionally, but at the same time, you don't know, it may not be good to express it outwardly. Someone may get the wrong idea. So it can be at an inner level. Yeah.
When you said when you come up against someone and you experience that, decrease in flow,
Yeah.
how do you get the motor going? I think for the what
Yeah.
do
I
you do?
mean, yeah, you draw on everything that Baba has said, of course. And, Baba says everyone is first in importance and no one is second. I mean, even an affirmation like that. And here's another thing that Baba said that has helped me immensely from the 70s. I looked for this quote. I was hoping that I could find a quote where Baba expresses this, and I finally found it. I wrote it down and I put it in my wallet until it eventually shredded. But Baba said this. This was immensely helpful, where Baba said, all differences between one another are merely superficial and cannot affect the love we feel for each other deep down. Meaning love doesn't grow. We already love each other. So it's, clearing away the stuff that tells us otherwise. I found that immensely helpful because if someone didn't like me, and it didn't look like they would ever really like me that much, that could be depressing. But inside I say, well, we love each other now. Is there anything I can do to manipulate and everything so that we can get a breakthrough and see that we actually love each other? Because the soul in us will never be happy with the assertion that love is never going to happen with that person. You know what I mean? So it's a different way of approaching people, that we already love each other rather than that love has to grow and may not even succeed in growing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it sounds like it's more about removal of likes and dislikes to get them out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to allow what's already there. Sort of like, the removal of sanskaras
Like the
reveals the
clouds
purity of
lifting.
the soul, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or like the clouds lifting and you can see the sun, which was there all along.
mhm. Right, right.
But there are things we can do to stimulate that current to flow, but you have to give up not liking this person because you know, they irritate you, whatever. It's there's another method. Maybe later on, I'll share something that I got from the Mandali on something that Baba said in relation to other people. Not too near, not too far.
Mm.
There's a deep, deep meaning to that can be
Thank
helpful.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, Rich, you're
Wow.
on.
I would almost love to hear that now, Jeff, but I will make a little comment. I found that this is a subject which I can see it in my own life now, but I have to frame it in a certain way, and that is that I guess I'm at that age where I've begun to let go of what I can accomplish for myself, what I can, the selfish part of, da 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 da, because mortality uh, is this road sign further up the road, but still that road sign seems okay. But anyway, but in the meantime, so I look at someone like my neighbor across the street and I go, well, they have a life too. So their identity is very, very important to them. Well, translate that to Bob, it's like their self, the real self is very important. But like me, most people have always been involved in that ego work, I call it ego identity, right? That ego identity. And if I were operate from that point of view, I can't love anybody. I don't do it. I don't know if it's bad or good or whatever, but I can't do it. The only thing I can do is try to go beyond that and remember Baba, and then see people. And I'm a little baby, spiritually speaking, but I think that it works for me, but I'm at a very low level of that. Dr. Ken Moore was way up there. Well, I'm way down here trying to figure out who is that person. But rather than seeing it in a selfish way, what can that person do for me? I'm trying to see, well, just who is that person? How are they living their life? What's important to them? So psychologically, I don't think it's real important to think I love someone, but spiritually, if I don't make that leap that you're talking about, if I don't, I'm limited to just my own sanskars and nothingness. There's just no reward at all. And if I engage them on that, but it's Baba doing this. I mean, I have to say it's Baba. It's not like I have any kind of plan, but it's Baba. And we know, when you put that in there, somehow he's mixing the batter for whatever's going to come out. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no, you drop back into Baba and you can get some flow so that this exchange you have with somebody is elevated to not two personality selves bumping up to each other. There's something flowing in that puts a little carbonation in, a little timeless, spacious quality. Yeah. Thanks.
Ron? Ron?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got.
Yes.
All right. I have a story, personal anecdote that goes way, way back when I first had moved to the San Francisco Bay Area. At this point, I was about 30 years old, living on Telegraph Avenue in Oakland. And this one night, I was crossing the street to go catch the bus. So I was going to the bus stop, and I was headed to a Baba meeting. And the person in charge of refreshments had asked me to volunteer to pick up 3 cans of frozen lemonade. That was going to be my contribution. So I had the 3, plastic bag with 3 cans of frozen lemonade, and I was headed across the street, but my attention went right to this young woman, really, I mean, almost like a girl. She was quite young, I thought, beautiful girl, dressed in a tennis outfit. Like, I don't know if people still wear these little, short skirts, white short skirts and everything. And she was sitting on the curb with her feet in the gutter. And as I was crossing the street, I was thinking, this is not good. I began to get a little angry that she was putting herself in a position where nothing good was going to come from this. Why sit on the curb like that? Dressed the way she was, looking the way she did. I don't know. The whole thing was irritating me a lot. And so I walked down to where the bus was going to open its door, and I was standing there, and every once in a while I'd look over at her and just feel that I wanted her to get up and go stand somewhere, wait for the bus. But it didn't seem to be working. But so every once in a while I would do that, and then I would turn away, and I would just get all frustrated. And then I looked in the other direction, and I saw this African American guy walking the other way, and I nodded to him. And as I started to look back at this girl, basically what I was trying to get the girl to avoid was in process, which was that this guy had gone to sit right next to her on the curb. And he was basically, well, he was talking to her about something. I couldn't hear exactly what he was saying, but the girl finally got up and started backing away from this guy. And and so what I felt about this guy was that he could not walk past that girl. He was stuck. His samskaras were such that he could not get past her. And I was feeling sorry for that guy and angry as heck at this girl. Yet it was clear to me that it was a good chance that I was going to have to get involved in this brewing situation. And what was happening with those two were she was backing away from him. So her body was looking, to defend herself by backing away. And he was coming towards her and defending his honorable intentions of wanting to play tennis with her. This is the things that he was saying. He wanted to play tennis with her. Yeah, sure you did. And so they were just backing away. And as I was thinking, they started heading my direction. Now I was pretty sure that I was going to have to be involved in this. And Baba was basically saying, what's going to happen here? Are you going to defend this girl? I mean, what if he attacks her or something like that? I don't know what he's going to do. But I said, Baba, this guy wasn't that big, but also I'm not much of a fighter. So what am I going to do? How am I going to protect her? I don't know how to fight. And Baba said, you know what you got at the end of your hand? And that was a bag with 3 cans of frozen lemonade. He said, well, you can use that. And so the idea of using that as a weapon, that really did not thrill me. But nevertheless, when Baba telling me that this was, you might have to do that. So get ready, because here they come. They were heading my way. There's no doubt about it. There were other people there too, up against this building, but she was heading my way. And when they got there, they were still yakking at each other. And I was right in between them. And I looked at this guy. Again, I was feeling sorry for the predicament that he was in, but I knew I was going to I might have to engage with him and physically or whatever. And this girl, but somehow Baba blessed me with saying something. And what I said is I looked at this guy, and then I looked back at the girl and I said, I wouldn't take, what she's saying. She's only saying these things because she was saying kind of aggressive, nasty things to this guy. Like, you want to do this to me, you want to do that to me, whatever. I said, really, the only reason she's doing this is because she's afraid of you. And somehow that was the truth. And that truth sort of let that guy off the hook. And it put her on the hook and undermined her whole aggressive talk, which was just some kind of a phony defensive thing. And so it was silence for about 2 seconds when the bus pulled up. And then we got on the bus and left this guy behind. And just at the end, she was sitting at the back of the bus. I was sitting in the front, but she made a point to come all the way to the front and say, "Thanks for doing that." But really, it was Baba somehow putting me in a situation. I spent years after this happened trying to figure out how that all could come about, that I would say just the right thing to kind of make the whole thing kind of undermine the possibilities of how bad it might have been. And I'm thinking that it was my attitudes that I had for each one. I was protecting the person that I was angry at, and I was going to have to go against somebody who I was feeling sorry for. Anyhow, you make of it what you will, but it's kind of interesting. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we've had all had little scenes like that for sure.
Oh, Robert.
Jay Baba, everybody. Thanks for this topic, Jeff. I really appreciate it. I actually have been struggling with receding a bit myself. I developed a crush on somebody a few weeks ago and found out yesterday that, well, they're going to go back to their home country in Europe. And I've been definitely going through a bit of a stuff. And I spoke with my sponsor about it, and he recommended I read page 552, a paragraph. I'm going to read it to everybody here. And it applies to any attachment, resentment. It's all kind of like all the same stuff when it comes down to it. If you have a resentment you want to be free of, if you will pray for the person or the thing that you resent, you will be free. If you will ask in prayer for everything you want for yourself to be given to them, you will be free. Ask for their health, their prosperity, their happiness, and you will be free. Even when you don't really want it for them, and your prayers are only words and you don't mean it, go ahead, do it anyway. Do it every day for 2 weeks, and you will find you have come to mean it, and you want it for them. And you will realize that where you used to feel bitterness or a resentment and a hatred, you will now feel compassion and understanding and love. So that was, so I really appreciate this subject because it's definitely applies to what I need to focus on, and that is to let go of the attachment, let go of the wanting, let go of any expectation, and just give love, as St. Francis advised us in his prayer.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Robert.
Really good, Robert. Really
Yeah.
good. Peter, are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Before I even start, I wanted, today's been kind of a rough day because my mom died on September 11th of 2019. So it's not having a mom around. It's kind of a sad day, but want to wish everybody, moms, a happy Mother's Day. Remember, Dr. Phil said that no one has a harder job than a mother because they're on call 24/7. It's got to be daunting. I guess one of these lifetimes I'll have that privilege. Now, on an awkward subject, when it comes to this love flowing, this question goes to anybody. And what the gentleman just suggested, I think that it was manifested in a different way. Louise, hey, you see, I have a tough time with this because in my heart, I do not feel this love for Mayor Baba. I feel the opposite. When I do my gratitude list or when I do my want list, I say I want to feel God's love and I want to feel love for God. I don't feel it. To be politically correct, I feel the opposite. Now, the thing is, there's an Emmett Fox exercise where he says, for the people that you really feel deep resentment or hate to, picture them on a stage getting an award, like seeing them in the best light possible, see them successful and happy and joyful. And I've been doing that with a number of people. And I mean, I could see the bitterness. I mean, it's like so slight going down. And my take-home message is, how can we visualize Mayor Baba like this? Serious question, not a joke. Can anyone suggest a way to see Baba in like a successful light, in a radiant light? It may be a no-brainer question, but I'd still like to have answers to this. It may be life-changing or life-saving for me. Because quite frankly, I admire the heck out of people that go on pilgrimages all the time and radiate his love, have calm, poise, and all this. And that's something I aspire to, but I have little of that. And when I work my jobs and when I see people that are acting out and I have to confront, I don't think I love them, but I take a page out of my doctor and out of Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse, and I'm nice. I'm very nice to them because in a way they're human and they deserve it. Even when they're acting out like, say, like idiots, I still try to convey a niceness or at least a sternness or something. But when it comes to, yeah, some people give dispatch calls that are so ridiculous. They are just flat out ridiculous. And I still have to have some kind of niceness, not just because it's my job, but because I want to reflect. I don't want people to be rude to me. It's like, how would I want to be treated? That's a game changer. The moment I put myself in their position, it changes everything. So again, can anybody or everybody recommend a way, in the spirit of this Emmett Fox exercise that I was recommended to, see Mayor Baba in a successful light? Read between the lines, please. That's the question for now. I'll pass. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone come forward in response to his question?
I would like to respond.
Yeah.
This is very easy. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I listened to a Coming to Baba story by Daniel Stone. It's on YouTube. It's about this less than a half an hour long, and he was going through something leading up to coming to Baba, where he wasn't feeling Baba's love. It wasn't happening for him. He was really interested in spirituality and all that. But anyhow, I won't tell you the punchline or anything, but it's got the answer to what part of what I think you're asking about. You might find it inspiring. So just check that story out. It's a good story. I think you might enjoy it.
All right, thank you. And I think without, I also meant to, that was also meant for both, my brain, Jeff can go here too. Thanks, pass.
Speaking of Daniel Stone, he once asked Kitty, do you feel Baba? She says, oh, no, I haven't felt him in years. This is Kitty Dayton. I mean, a very loving person. But, and Arnavas once said to Baba, I don't feel you. She was complaining about not feeling Baba, and Baba said, I didn't ask you to feel me. I asked you to love me. So these are, that's something to ponder. I mean, like I say, so it's, you can be loving Baba by loving these people. It's for Baba's sake that you're loving these people. That is loving him. Even if you don't feel it, you're not connecting with Baba, but you are loving him even if you're not feeling him. That's what I would say.
Marion,
Huh? Yeah.
Marion, please.
Hi. Thank you
Hi.
so much, everyone. And I just have one little gem to put in there. It's not a panacea. It's not to get you all straightened out because you're just fine. Something that has affected me very deeply is in the discourses, Baba has said, I will not fulfill any of your wants, but I will fulfill every real need. But you have to dig around for those real needs. So I'm very careful when I'm saying to Baba what I want. Then I have to not put myself down, but notice my language that I use. It is a reflection of my intention. And so if I say, Baba, I want to know you're with me. I want you there. I know you'll never leave me. I will never leave you, but I just nothing will shift with wants. But if I dig around, what is my real need? And very sincerely give that over to Baba, then the answer comes immediately. So I just want to put that out because it's in the discourses. I didn't make it up. But notice the language and shift into real needs rather than wants. And it all opens up. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Just my little 2 cents in there.
There's a line from Rumi where he says, without need, God gives nothing.
Mhm.
You have to be on your knees. I mean, love comes, and yeah, when you feel deficient and you're in need, but you don't, like I say, you don't necessarily get to experience the love, but you
Yes,
can express loving.
and the need may be fulfilled in a better way than I could ever imagine, and that always happens. I could just be walking down the street and say that, and I may hear something, stop, be quiet, and listen. It may be that simple that it'll come to me. Baba will speak to me, stop, be quiet, listen. So I've just had that as a practice of noticing a difference between when I'm wanting, but I don't put it down. And I use wanting as a gateway to discover what my real need is. And Baba said you have to dig a little bit for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Anyone else come up with something in response to Peter's question? Go or
Well,
you
just the fact, yes, Go Here's getting ready. I can tell she's looking up something. Peter, I was just thinking, just the fact that you're asking that question, Baba knows already what you want and what you need, and he's giving it to you right now. And also, I want to remind you, some of your stories in the past, you've said that you've gone into situations at work that were scary, and you took Baba's name because you were scared. I mean, that's taking Baba's name. I mean, when push comes to shove, it was Baba that was in your heart. That's all. Prakash.
Hey, Jai Baba, everybody.
Jai
I mean,
Baba.
I don't know if it answers Peter's question, but I just remembered a beautiful story. This is about, there is a seeker who just keeps wandering around trying to find somebody who can help him in his spiritual endeavor. And then he just keeps asking everybody, and then finally finds some people who tell him, well, just go across the desert and you'll find a man, old man, and I'm sure he can help you. I'm really cutting the story short, and most of you may know the story. And he goes around and then ultimately finds this man, this old man with a long beard and everything. And he was playing with little kids, enjoying the time with them, laughing and all that stuff. And he waits, and the old man looks at him. So he tells him, I'm here to seek some help from you. So he says, okay, let me finish playing with these kids and then I'll come with you. And then after he finishes everything with the kids, he says, okay, let's walk with me to my place. And they both walk home to the old man's place. And as soon as he goes, the wife of his and the old man's start screaming at him. I mean, you just do nothing at home. You don't, bring money home, and I have to struggle this, that for a long time. And all this time, this old man just doesn't say anything. And so the seeker, who is with the old man, he looks at this man and says, look, I mean, your wife has been just going on and on like this, and you have nothing to say. And then he just simply points to his wife and says, she is my patience. So from this story, somehow I figured whenever it so happens that we have things that we don't like in people, obviously that makes our love for them not flow. But I think it's a way, they are helping us, trying to find that love that we can give. So in a way, they're strengthening our, the capacity to love. So that kind of thing. So anything that we don't like is helping us to get better and better and challenging us to love people more in different ways. So that's just an example I thought I can just share. Jay Bob.
Yeah, thank you, Prakash. Yeah,
Shah. Oh, sorry, Jeff.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Hi. So I know Peter. I haven't talked to him for a long time. But one thing I will say to you, Peter, is I've seen a lot of growth in you. And so even if you can't see it in yourself, I can see it. And I'm sure other people can see it. So I'm saying that because it's true. I'm saying that to encourage you. And I think all of us are here for the same thing. We're all here to come in tune with the best part of ourselves. And I think we all help each other do it. I know in the case of Prakash, this is a person that is always in a place of poise and trying to be calm and trying to be loving and trying to see the best. And I know over the past few months, I've tried his patience and tried his patience to the point where probably all he can do is just avoid me. but that kind of person makes a real difference to me. And so it's a process, and I know sometimes, like, in terms of the focus of this topic tonight, I've really thrown myself into going for it. Sometimes to the point where I just utterly exhaust myself and don't know how I'll get back on, sort of on the going forward again. But it seems like it's happening. It seems like it's possible. So I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Shah. Yeah, we missed seeing you, but we heard your voice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Oh, there he
I
is.
turned it on, but I didn't see it. I missed it.
Rich.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, what Prakash said reminded me of something. I don't know if it's related, but when Peter, when you show up here, when I show up here, I look at Christina or Marion or Goher, and I expect that Baba is kind of looking back at me. I can count on that, right? I'm comfortable with that. So I don't worry about that. But if you go out somewhere in the world or doing your job, for example, when you're young, that's all you have. You have a lot of work ahead of you. So you're going to encounter a lot of people. They're not going to be looking at you necessarily with Baba's eyes. You're probably, if you get it, wonderful. So all you can do is look out your eyes, hoping it's Baba looking through your eyes. And that way you'll see whatever you can of him and others. And I really think this is the rest of my, remember the road signs, the rest of my life is more about this whole thing of trying to see through Baba's eyes. I don't know how else to put it. And because I'm so limited that sanskars are a dead end, unless Baba puts them to use for you. But that's enough for me right now. Thank you.
yeah, no, beautifully expressed. I mean, and I've mentioned here on late night chat that Mani used to say, you have to see things through Baba's eyes. And I say that I didn't realize there was an option, but it's looking not through the lens of ourself, but looking through the lens of empathy and compassion and love. And it's doable. It's not some, exotic, esoteric thing. Yeah.
Bob.
Yes, I trying to somehow let love flow no matter what the situation can be very difficult. I mean, sometimes it's when I'm out on a walk and I walk past the preschool, for instance, and all the little kids are out there playing, and I stop with my dog for a moment, and the kids come up to the fence and they want to pet the dog, and I talk to the teacher, and I mean, those little preschoolers are so innocent, and love flows instantly from me to them, and from my little dog to them. I mean, that's easy, and I love it. I mean, sometimes it's just what I need, so I do that. But on a different walk, I pass a yard where a large ferocious dog jumps up on this 6-foot tall fence with his paws on the fence and his head hanging over, barking and growling and snarling. Well, the first time that happened, it scared the hell out of me. And I was angry. And and then I thought, well, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to change my route. I mean, I like walking this way. So what do I do? Well, it's been months now. But now when I pass that yard and that dog jumps up on the fence, I stop and I say, well, good morning. How are you today? Jay Baba, nice to see you again. Now, it seems silly, probably, but it works. I mean, I'm not angry at the dog anymore. And the dog, I think, is becoming a little bit thankful. So, now, it's a lot more difficult with people. But as you said, Jeff, being proactive is something that is necessary. So, yeah. Thank you. That's
Beautiful. Great. Yeah.
We all love to be loved, even the doggies.
Yeah. Any other?
Okay, so I'll offer
Ah,
sense. So Peter, I feel I echo what Jeff said earlier, that in doing what you're doing through your work, reaching out to people as you are, you're already conveying Baba to them. It's Baba in you that is reaching out to them. So whether you feel him or not right now, as you say, you can't feel Baba's love or you loving Baba, I wouldn't worry about that, because Baba's already within you, and he will express himself, or he will reveal himself, if you will, when the time is right. So all your job is to just keep loving him. That's all. And there's a saying here I was looking for, and I found finally. I was saying by Sai Baba, who said, I give you what you want so that you may begin to want what I have to give. I give you what you want so that you may begin to want what I have to give. So don't worry about whether you're loving Baba or not. You already are. You just are not fully aware of it yet. And just leave that to him. In his good time, he will exactly show you who he is and how you love him, or how he loves you totally. So that's all I have to say for that. I hope it helps.
I once said to Erich, but people would come up to Baba overpowered, sometimes passing out with bliss, just the sight of him. How you were right next to Baba, what did you feel? He said, I felt nothing. You felt nothing? You mean like Baba was just like an ordinary person? He said, yes. I mean, that's kind of extraordinary. But, he kind of indicated that if he had gotten a taste of the love, it would have gone on magnifying. He said, I would be on the ground in the dust rolling in ecstasy. He had to actually keep from being overwhelmed by Baba's love. So he kind of kept it at bay. But anyway, so there's some great people. You're among some great people. I'm just saying that. Erich, Kitty, and all that, But it is understandable. You like to feel Baba's love. I mean, we're all kind of gluttons in that way. But it is, he has to, I mean, I think I told you the story when Amrit went to see Baba. She was with Baba when she was a young girl, and he was God himself, and she was overpowered. And then when she was about 17 and being engaged and married to Dara, Baba's nephew, she came down to Merzad, and the marriage was going to take place there, and they were in the main house. She arrived late, so Baba had retired to his bedroom, and so they were kind of wondering what to do. But then they heard Baba clap, and I think Mara probably went in and said, "Baba wants to see you." So she hadn't seen Baba since she was a little girl. So she went in that internal door into Baba's bedroom, and she saw Baba sitting on the bed, and she was so disappointed. This is God. This is 40 days before Baba dropped his body. He was so frail. He didn't look like the God that she'd seen as a child, and she was really quite shocked. But she did say that tears were coming down her eyes kind of helplessly. But Baba indicated for her to come around to the front, and she's looking down at Baba. Can this be God? Can this be God? She's like going through that. Baba opens up his arms, and she goes into his arms, and she feels that love that she experienced as a young girl. And then after the embrace, Baba looked at her with this particular look, and she felt what Baba was conveying is, you people make me have to prove myself. That's the look that Baba gave her. You people make me have to prove myself. In the Mandali, they didn't put that expectation on Baba. They took him as he was, and he could just be himself. But that's another camera angle on this whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Ron.
Yeah, just a favorite Baba statement to us that is pretty useful and powerful as I receive it, which is, don't worry. My love will give you that strength and conviction which makes you feel that you belong to God.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Read it again, Ron, please.
Don't worry. My love will give you that strength and conviction which makes you feel that you belong to God. If you like to belong, why not to God?
Rich.
Another short one, kind of like what Ron is saying there, but I wanted to direct it to you, Peter, especially. But I know that I've always sort of been a worrier, I think, worrying about this, that. But somehow one of the things I latched onto a long time ago, probably visiting Myrtle Beach and getting the bug there, getting infected, was to try to be cheerful, keeping a smile. Baba talks about that, but that enables, let's put it this way, it's his order that you meet the world with cheerfulness. And in doing so, it's him doing it through you. And it puts at bay, people can be worried about all kinds of things. You don't know what's going on in their life. And they greet you or see you, and they see you, and you've got a smile on your face, or you're being cheerful, or you look at them with a smile, But the critical thing about Bob is he says, this is something you should be doing no matter what, all the time, everywhere. Not just when you're feeling good or when you're happy, but even when you're distraught or worried. And I have actually tried to do that. I've worked on that. And I'm telling you, for as much as I'm capable, it works. I guarantee it works. It puts people at ease, but more than that, they see something beaming at them and they respond, like kind. Thank you.
Yeah.
Diane.
So I have a couple, these are questions.
Oh, goody.
You were talking about what happens when you were talking about the personality self. When you get into a conflict, I think one of the things that was asked earlier on, but I think Christina, was about when you get into a confrontation with someone and you've got the personality selves that are going at each other. So is it the recommendation of this group and this topic that, let's say I am one of the participants, let's say I'm having the confrontation, that I should realize that we're both got Baba in us? I mean, we've talked about, even if you know you're right or you think you're right, what you do with that, do you let that go so that it could flow more? Oh, great, wise Jeff.
Yeah, that saying, I don't know if it's an AA saying, would you rather be happy or right or happy? So you do have to give up certain right and wrong thing if it's blocking the harmony, it's disrupting the current, so to speak. But I mean, you have to be very ingenious how to love Baba said, you love me most by loving those whom you cannot love. So it is a challenge. But definitely I spent 20 years lowering my expectations of others so I could enjoy my fellow Baba lovers. I mean, and I did it religiously.
My mom used to tell this story about two people who got in a head-on collision. And as they're going up to heaven, one of them said, "But I had the right of way."
That's great. Great. Beautiful.
Janet, hi.
You got you're muted.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I really like that one you just said, Diane, because that sounds like me in one of my current situations. But but I wanted to say about that smiling thing that Rich was talking about, the cheerful. I've been reading Effort and Grace lately, and one of the things that Darwin's talking about is rising up to the level of the spirit. And I notice that if I am smiling versus, I mean, I might not even be upset, but I have kind of a long face. I notice it because I'll look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, Janet, you have a long face. And if I smile, that the internal experience I have is of feeling more spirit, feeling more like lifted, the lift of spirit. I mean, at least that's what's true for me. And I'm not saying I do it all the time, but it's helpful. And I'm thinking about Peter's question. I wonder if it's that if we need to see Baba on the outside, or because I mean, not that I don't like I look at his pictures and all these other things, but that really it's that the experience of Baba for me is more on the inside, when I feel connected to to love, whether it's with my children, my grandchildren, just like I said, smiling or looking outside and seeing something beautiful or listening to a bird or just those things that we might pick out of our day. Those are the things that help me lift me up to a level where I can have the possibility of sensing my connection to Baba. And yeah, that, I mean, and I also just want to say, in my opinion, that if we felt it all the time, then we'd be Baba. It isn't, I mean, because he said, my experience of God is uninterrupted. But for those of us who aren't at that level, I mean, if we get glimpses, you know, I don't want to judge myself. I try not to, I do sometimes, judge myself for how connected I might feel to Baba for any period of time. And sometimes I go for periods of times where that connection wanes. And I think, oh my God, oh my Baba, what's going on? You know, have I turned away? But, you know, I think it's, as I recall, Baba says, I pull back because then that draws you toward me more, because then that increases the longing. And so I think, Peter, what I'm hearing from you is you have a good dose of the longing. And it's that longing that pleases Baba most, in my apparently not so humble opinion, because I'm just stating it like it's truth. But that's my own sense, you know, that longing is what I remember I used, and Baba said this, if you can't long to long. And I remember doing that at times in my life where I'd long to long, or what is longing? But what I heard you say, Peter, was clearly longing. And that's, to my way of thinking, a huge triumph. Thank you.
Beautifully said, Janet. Wow. Hey, Goer's gotten into the quotes somewhere.
I just wanted to add, what Janet just said is exactly right. She hit the nail on the head and she took the words right out of my mouth. Peter, your conviction comes to you only through longing, and longing, and the more you long for Baba, someday he will give you that conviction. That conviction is a gift from him to you, but to earn it, you must have the longing. So continue to just long for him, long for his love. The very fact that you're here and you've invited Baba into your life, that is huge. I mean, you have no idea how he's guiding you. And that's, it's all behind the veil. You cannot see how he's guiding you, but rest assured he is. And someday, with your continued longing, you will get to see and experience who Baba really is from within. That's all. Jai Baba.
Yeah.
Jai Baba.
Ditto.
Peter.
Boy, the comment back. Thank you for the comments. I didn't expect this. However, there's a piece of the puzzle that I haven't said, and I'm going to spare y'all that piece today, on Thursday. Believe it or I think it would be really smart of me to spare y'all the piece. And Baba said, unless you know to say it, don't. So I'm not. I haven't gotten inward prompting because I don't know where to go with this. Let's just say that there's a couple more gears to go that I didn't reveal, and I'm struggling to give an answer. I'll just say thank you for the comments, and I'm sure I'll remember it next week, and hopefully I'll remember and have the courage enough to bring up the what I did not say this week, and maybe y'all will get a much better perspective on what I said. But thanks for your efforts, appreciate it. About the smiling thing, I don't do smiling because smiling to me is almost like lifting 200 pounds, like doing a 200-pound bench press. Seriously, it does not come easily. I like to do it when it's spontaneous. Other than that, It feels so fake, you have no idea. So, I mean, I've heard people comment about me not cracking my face. Well, it doesn't crack.
It doesn't crack.
No, it doesn't crack. So I'll just,
Yeah.
no, I don't feel prompted to crack the face. And unless I feel really prompted, it is so unnatural. So, if I laugh spontaneously, I laugh. I love laughing. If there's a good joke, I laugh. I love laughing. It's cool. If not, it's not natural to me. Anyway, I'll pass with that. Thank you. And until next week.
I got a plastic surgeon that can help you.
You'll need it.
Oh, he's laughing. Look, he's laughing.
Yeah, I'm a man of many laughs.
Yeah.
I have many different laughs.
Oh, good work.
Hey, so yeah. You know what, Christina, I'll save that thing about Baba's idea, not too near, not too far, for another occasion. How's that sound? Hey, here's what though. I did this last time and I just think it's worth I wanted Marta to read something at the end from Rumi, but here is a song that I think you will like. It's sung by Pam Rubenstein. She's there in Tampa Bay area. And she put this a poem to words. You guys ready for it? Here it goes. It's called It's in the Valleys I Grow.
Sometimes my life seems hard to bear, full of troubles, tears, and woe. It's then I must remember, it's in the valleys that I grow. And if I never left the mountaintop and knew nothing more of pain, I seldom would remember you, and my life would be in vain. I have so much to learn about, and my growth seems very slow. Sometimes I need the mountaintops, but it's in the valleys that I grow. And I don't always understand why things happen as they do, but I'm very sure of one thing, my dearest friend will see me through. Forgive me for complaining, Lord, when I'm feeling very low. Just flash me a reminder, it's in the valleys that I grow. Do what you must to make me strong, and use me every day to share your love with others and help them find their way. Thank you for the valleys, Lord, for this one thing I know. The mountaintops are glorious, but it's in the valleys that I grow. The mountaintops are glorious, but it's in the valleys that I grow.
Beautiful words.
I'm so glad I found this poem, Jeff, a long time ago on the internet, and I shared it with our Tuesday Florida group. And Pam is, of course, with us on that Tuesday group, and she chose to put this poem to music, and it's beautiful.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I passed-
straight from Baba. Aha.
I just thought this was such a beautiful poem, the way it was expressed, and yeah, and she put it to such a glorious music. It's turned out to be so wonderful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so I've asked Marta to read this poem from Rumi, and then we'll have a few moments of silence. And thank you all for sharing and bringing all this up. It really does help. You know, I was down near Charleston, and there's one lady that's a Baba person is basically kind of quite blind and deaf, and she's just kind of alone, has no car or anything, but she has such an intimacy with Baba. I didn't think I could do this, you know, but she did say that she comes on these recordings, listens to these recordings, and it's meant the world to her to know that people talk about these things with each other. You know, she didn't know that it would happen, you know, so it's been very, you know, it's meant the world to her. And there are others that have told me the same thing too. Anyway, go ahead, Marta.
I can be without anyone, but not without you. You twist my heart, you dwell in my mind, and fill my eyes. You are my joy. I can't be without you. You are my sleep, my rest, the water I drink. You are my clarity, my dignity, my world. I can't be without you. Sometimes you're kind, sometimes unfaithful. You break my heart, but my love, my essence, don't go away. I can't be without you. You are the head and I am the feet. You are the hand. I am your banner. If you leave, I will perish. I can't be without you. You have erased my image. You've taken my sleep. You've torn me away from everybody, but I can't be without you. I find no joy in life or relief in death. Why don't you say it too? I can't be without you. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Let's have a few moments of silence. Jai Baba. Thank you, all of you, and we'll see what comes up for next week. If you have any topics, I know Peter has sent something. I wanted to try to go over that about praising Baba, but that's a little hard for me to unpack. But I'll be in touch with you.
Thank you. I felt a little neglected. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think you have my email somewhere. So if a topic comes up, that's
Jeff, on that note,
yeah.
I've often thought my way is to try to thank Baba, to be grateful in the same line.
Exactly. That's That's why I think praising Baba is
Yeah.
the colloquial way at the heart level is feeling grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what my life was like before Baba, and
Mm.
it's incredible what he has done. You're lucky you didn't see me back then. Oh, Baba. No,
Je-
yeah. Go ahead,
Jeff,
yeah,
may I share one quick quote that
yeah,
I found, which might be appropriate for tonight?
yeah.
Baba says, shut the trap of your mind and end all worries. Open the trap of your heart and release love.
Mm.
Jai Baba.
Yeah,
Hey, Baba.
yeah. Hey, here's something I might try to develop. Is something that is from the Course in Miracles, and Eckhart Tolle kind of shared it, where I'm paraphrasing, but in the Course in Miracles it says you are never upset for the reasons you think. You are never upset for the reasons you think. What we're really upset about is that we've been pulled away from the fullness of this moment. It's not because that person insulted us, or we didn't win the election, or someone smashed into our car. It's that we were pulled away from our beloved in this moment. And the purpose is not to figure out, why did I get upset with that person? The purpose is to get back to the fullness of the present moment at your earliest convenience. You know, that's,
So
I mean,
again,
it's so simple and so fundamental, but it's a very deep truth.
yeah.
And that's, Daro, the Mandali, and they've all been, that's been their practice, to get back if they get pulled away. But I think that might be an interesting topic. I'll see if I can unpack that a little bit. Yeah.
Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Yeah.
No, I was just saying in relation to what Jeff just said, and it relates perfectly to the quote I just quoted
Yeah.
about shutting the trap of the mind and opening the trap of the heart.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because the heart, when you're in the heart, you're in the present.
That's it.
You're okay. Well, you folks have a nice week, and get plenty of
Thanks,
protein.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
everybody.
Thank
Yes, thank you.
you. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, wait, where is
Whoa,
she?
Nasreen.
Wait, where is
Hey,
she?
Baba. Where's Nasreen?
Where's
He's
Nasreen?
hiding.
Here, my name is here.
Oh,
Let me see your.
Yeah.
I am not there, but my name is there.
okay. It just
All
says
right.
Chummy. It says Chummy.
Sorry.
Oh, chummy.
We didn't
I
know
don't
who
know why.
Chummy was. We thought
I don't know either. I don't
we
know.
thought it was the dog pound in North Myrtle Beach, Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's finish it. You sound off the final words.
Okay. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Hey,
Baba.
Baba.
Beautiful.
Jai
Right?
Baba.
Hey, Baba.
That comes
Jai
right
Yay.
from
Baba.
Bob.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Yeah. See you guys. Yeah.
Yes,
Much
yes.
love.
Thank you.
Much love to you. Bye.
Yeah.